Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/thebarn. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thebarn.
Hello, I'm Jason Lowry.
And I am Mark Toti.
And this is the Parkland Podcast.
It's the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. It's the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. They got plenty to say. They got plenty of heart. On the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. It's the Parkland Podcast. Yeah, the Parkland Podcast. It's the Parkland Podcast. Yeah, the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. Jason and Mark.
Man, you're such a good dancer.
Well, you know me. I've got two moves, and it's like my jokes. I have two, and I use them all the time.
And that is correct. So there you go. There's your one joke out of the way. You have one more left to say before the end of the podcast.
Brother Tom, thanks for the music. As always, very much appreciated.
Got a great show for you. This is episode 18 of the Parkland Podcast, so I guess we're old enough to vote now.
We're old enough to vote. We can be drafted, too, if there was such a thing as a draft.
We better not hope that doesn't happen. Good show for you. We're going to talk some economic development. We have Brandon Hubbard and Chris Hulsey in. Both those guys have their hands in a lot of neat projects and have really invested in the area, so we're going to talk to them about that. We also have an interview about the Babblin about Broadway review show coming to Farmington next weekend with Danielle, Yilmaz, and Justin Radford, so that'll be exciting. Plus a recap of Week 6 of the high school football season, Potosi and Central, another fantastic ball game. We'll have all the results, recaps, and interviews coming up in sports as well. But want to make sure we thank our sponsors greatly. They keep this possible. Parkland Pharmacy, Discover Farmington, Save a Lot of the Parkland, Subway of the Parkland, Heimberger Construction, First State Community Bank, Spokes Pub and Grill, and Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center. Mark Toti, what did you do this week?
Had a great day on Friday helping with the Help the Hungry barbecue. We'll have more information on that coming up with our news and a look back at the dedication ceremony at the Farmington Sports Complex, renaming it after the great Bud Norman. That took up the majority of my time. Other than that, just really enjoy the weather. This has been a fabulous start to October.
Sure has. Monday, you and I had a chance to go to the special ribbon cutting and open house for the new medical facilities there with BJC. That was a nice event with a lot of people.
We'll have some pictures of that coming up, too.
Absolutely. And then I know I got to enjoy the Help the Hungry bake sale a couple of times because a lot of teachers were out Friday, so I grabbed those barbecued hamburgers, and they were amazing.
The burgers, I had a burger yesterday, got some pulled pork that I waited on, but, man, they never disappoint with the Help the Hungry barbecue, and again, we'll have final numbers coming up.
How were people when you showed up with your deliveries?
Happy.
Yeah?
Happy. I felt really popular. I should have run for office. I could have probably got a lot of votes yesterday for sure.
You came across some interesting music trivia that I think is pretty neat. What do you got?
Yeah. The song, the great classic tune, "Friends in Low Places," Garth Brooks. That song was originally recorded by a guy named Mark Chestnut, never released as a single. But anyway, that song was also offered to George Strait.
Really?
Yeah, and George Strait said, thank you, but no thank you. Now, trust me, George is okay.
Right, yeah.
He's doing quite well, but boy, that would have really changed the course of country music, I think, especially for Garth Brooks, because that was the song that put him over the top.
Right.
Which I thought was pretty cool. Now, also, George Thorogood's song, I Drink Alone.
Yeah.
Which is a great tune. But that song was originally written, he wanted George Jones to record it as a country song. And before he could, his manager, Thorogood's manager, said, no, I really think you need to release this song. And the rest is history. Now, that would have been a great George Jones song.
Yes.
Because the possum never met a drink he didn't like. But, George Thorogood really did it. Did it upright.
That is very, very cool.
Just a couple.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I'm going to send a shout out, if I can.
You can.
To my buddy, Jim Moore. He's a doctor in the area. I had dinner with him and his fiance and some other friends just a couple of days ago. And he told me a joke for the podcast. It's a good dad joke, or in my case, a good uncle joke. What do you call a bear with no teeth?
What?
A gummy bear.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Jim Moore, medical professional, joke teller extraordinaire.
Very, very nice. Do you have a totally awesome radio story for us?
Well, we're going to talk the holidays since they're not too far away. Back in the day, a little over 30 years ago, our radio station used to put on a free Christmas movie. And we put it on at the Flat River Movie Theater. And I don't even remember if we were showing Home Alone or what we were showing. But anyway, we do a live broadcast during or leading up to the movie. And I'm out there doing the broadcast on the front steps of the movie theater, and I'm listening to J98. But the guys back at the station are getting ready to put me on the air on KREI. And there was a song from Ricky Van Shelton playing on J98 called Country Christmas. And when they potted me up on the air on KREI, I'm singing along to Ricky Van Shelton. There's nothing like a country Christmas. And, of course, the jokesters that they are, did they pot it back down and say, we'll get back to Mark? No, they just let me sing for a good 30 seconds or so. So the whole listening population of KREI got to hear just how good of a singer I am.
Well, they just thought it was part of the programming.
They thought there's that stupid toady going crazy again.
There you go. Another totally awesome radio story right here on the Parkland Podcast. Subway allows you to eat fresh with their delicious fresh menu. Subway of the Parkland has 3 great locations to serve you in Deloge, in the Walmart Supercenter, downtown Park Hills, and in Farmington in the Maple Valley Center. Mark, you love almost everything at Subway, and you love the service, too.
That's what I love most of all with Heather and Jessica, Brianna and Courtney, Mike and Jake. You did great when you hired those 4 young ladies, especially. They greet you with a smile. They remember your order, and I've been told that soups will be coming back, soups and chili. To the Subway stores here as fall gets here, and I can't wait for that. It is one of my favorite places to go, just not only for the food, but for the people that work there.
Subway of the Parkland.
Eat fresh.
Eat fresh. Farmington, Maple Valley Center, downtown Park Hills, and Subway in Deloge. Eat fresh. Subway sponsoring the Parkland Podcast. Want to welcome back First State Community Bank as a sponsor of the podcast. They have those 3 Farmington locations to serve you. They're in downtown with the headquarters for First State Community Bank. They have the branch at the corner of Washington and Karsh, and they're in the Maple Valley Center. They're also in Farmington High School, and I use that ATM a lot. And again, they offer everything that all the other banks offer, but they have that great customer service.
Great customer service, whether you're talking to Andy Buchanan, Tanya Thomas, whether you're talking to Craig Sutherland or Lisa Sumter or any of the other wonderful Matt Sebastian, great folks that work there from the tellers to the bank managers. They'll greet you with a smile and a handshake, and you will feel so good about doing your financial transactions through First State Community Bank.
FSCB.com, member FDIC, First State Community Bank, sponsoring the Parkland Podcast. The Department of Mental Health for the state of Missouri is seeking an advanced practice nurse to fill a position on their East-Southeast Regional Forensics mobile team. This position includes daytime travel, a flexible work schedule with remote work options available, at a salary of $130,000 annually, and tremendous benefits. This opening will not last long. To apply for the advanced practice nurse position or any other with the Department of Mental Health, please call 573-218-6800 or go to dmh.mo.gov. The state of Missouri is an equal opportunity employer. We celebrate diversity and are committed to creating an inclusive environment for all employees. Let's check news now on the Parkland Podcast. The Help the Hungry barbecue was a big success this past week. Over $11,700 was raised, and they served over 1,600 meals. And those meals came out of Offenburg in Farmington and the Farmington Memorial United Methodist Church. The Help the Hungry bake sale itself will happen the weekend before Thanksgiving.
There was also a big crowd on hand for a dedication ceremony this past Friday to rename the Farmington Sports Complex after longtime Parks and Recreation employee and director Bud Norman. Work is starting on a renovation of the sports complex, including a new concession stand, bathrooms, signage, backstops, fencing, dugouts, and equipment. That work is being done by Brock Miller Construction. They hope to have it complete by next March. We will have photos for you to look at from the ceremony as well.
St. Francis County Clerk Kevin Engler encouraging voters to read up on statewide amendments before they go to the polls. There are 6 statewide issues on the November ballot. Proposition A deals with a minimum wage increase and guaranteed time off. Amendment 2 asks voters to allow legalized sports betting in the state. Amendment 3 seeks to overturn the state's current abortion laws. Amendment 6 deals with court funds being used to fund police retirement. And Amendment 7 requires citizenship to vote and bans ranked choice voting.
And the Missouri Department of Social Services is warning Missourians of a surge in EBT card fraud. If you want more information on protecting your benefits, they ask that you visit the DSS website.
Now for the rest of our news, we will find out about some economic development happening locally with Brandon Hubbard and Chris Hulsey. Heimberger Construction, heimbergerconstruction.com. Since 1978, they've been putting together fantastic buildings around the parkland. You can see them, and they have a secret weapon when it comes to their buildings and a fine organization that helps there.
Well, one of their secret weapons is Jennifer herself.
Right, yes.
She is awesome and amazing, but they also specialize in Butler buildings. They are the best metal building systems on the market, the only buildings that have a pre-punched roof system and standard 360-degree roof seam for their standing seam roof. And I am sure if you travel around the area, you're going to see a Heimberger-built building.
Mocap in Park Hills and Farmington, Griffin Automotive in Bonne, Terre, Legacy Products in Bonne, Terre, Paramount Glass, the expansion in Park Hills, Crown Valley Winery, just to name a few. Their website's beautiful, heimbergerconstruction.com. Give Jenny a call today, 431-4387.
Good people to work with.
Want to talk about Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center, providing mental health services since 1903. This is an amazing place to work. The work environment is awesome, and they have a lot of employees, Mark, that you and I know who have been there a long, long time. And I think that says something about what they do there.
Yeah, Rick Capias, want to give a shout out to Rick. Not only does he work there, but he helps to organize a whole lot of their fundraising events that they have there. big employer in the area, and they're a corporation, I guess you could call them, a company that gives back to the community, and they really care about their patients and their well-being as well as their employees.
Now, they do have an opening right now. It's an advanced practice nurse, and that is for this region. The position includes daytime travel, a flexible work schedule with remote work options available, and a salary of $130,000 annually. Mark, do you want to go back to school and become an advanced practice nurse?
I'll tell you what, after years in radio, I'd have to work 7 years to make that much money. Wow, that's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, and tremendous benefits. So this opening will not last long. To apply, contact the Department of Mental Health, 573-218-6800. We'll get you right to Rick Capias, or you can go to the website dmh.mo.gov. The state of Missouri is an equal opportunity employer. We celebrate diversity and are committed to creating an inclusive environment for all employees.
Parkland Pharmacy is out to prove that local independent pharmacy is alive and well. We work hard at giving you an excellent experience every time you come to see us. We love what we do, and we would love to take care of you. There's no need to be frustrated with your health care. If you're tired of what your pharmacy is not doing for you, then stop waiting in line and come see us today. We have 6 locations across Southeast Missouri, so Google us to find the store nearest you or visit parklandrx.com. Parkland Pharmacy is a local pharmacy at its finest.
Let's talk some economic development here and maybe a little bit of parenting too on the Parkland podcast. We're joined now by Brandon Hubbard and Chris Hulsey. Guys, thanks so much for coming in. And I know we got a lot to talk about, but Brandon, first off, I'm going to start with you and ask the question that everybody's been wondering in St. Francis County. What's it like to be a dad?
Oh, man, the best job I've ever had, I think. I mean, it's amazing. We're having a good time with it, and it's a lot of fun.
It's changed a lot. You and the wife both very busy people doing a lot of different things. How's that adjustment been for you?
Yeah, it's been a big adjustment. It's night and day different, obviously. Change of lifestyle for sure, and but we wouldn't have it any other way. It's a lot of fun, and we're really enjoying it, and just spend as much time as we can. And we stay busy, but he's the most important thing right now.
Yeah. And Chris, we don't want to ignore your family too. I know you're super busy as well. Tell us about your kids.
Oh yeah, it's super busy. Got 3 kids. I got 2 boys, 9, 7, and then a 3-year-old girl. So we're on our toes all the time. I'll be running as soon as I leave here to a soccer game, and it's always going to do something.
And yet you guys find time to work on economic development in St. Francis County. Brandon, we talked, about a year and a half ago when you bought all that property on the east side of 67. Tell us what your goals were for doing that and how things are coming along.
Yeah, I guess it was probably back in late 2020, 21 maybe, that we purchased that property from the Bollinger family, and we just seen it sit for so long, and it was sitting empty for 20 years, I guess, and just we wanted to do something with it. We all live here, we all went to school here, and just got kind of the itch to say, hey, we need to do something here, and so we purchased the property, and we kind of sit on it for a while, not knowing what to do with it, and knew we were going to do something, but and luckily things are kind of lined up, and Hulsey's came on board with us, and we're partners with them in a lot of business stuff, and just kind of things are going the right way, and we were really excited about the future of it.
Do you have some commitments?
Yeah, we do. I'll let Chris kind of touch on some of that. We got a few that's there now that's coming.
Yeah, so I guess it was probably a year and a half ago. They had already owned the plaza. They'd had it for a couple years and hadn't really started on it yet, and I think they came to us and was like, you guys want to partner up on this? It's a lot for one group to take on. And like he said, we've partnered on a lot of stuff, and I think we believe in good partnerships and bringing the right people on board. So once Hulsey Properties came on board, we started the demo pretty much right away and started making plans. And, redevelopment is near and dear to my heart. Like that's what we like to do, is take blighted property and make it a hub for commerce and community.
No pun intended on the hub right there.
Ah, yeah.
So I guess the Dollar General, the new Dollar General up there is amazing. I think it's like the first time I went to one where you could actually buy corn
Yeah.
like stuff like that, and then kind of walk us back what else is going to be in that area back there, and what people can expect to start seeing soon.
Yeah, that market, I think that's the first Dollar General market in this area that has produce and stuff like that. I can't think of any that are near here.
The closest one's probably Herculaneum, and that's the one that's closest to here, probably.
Yeah. And that was always in the plan from the beginning, was to get a Dollar General in there, and they didn't know exactly where it was going to go. And I think we found a good spot sitting right up. It's kind of took the place of Don Hawk's, if you remember that.
Makes me think of the chicken.
Yeah. So the actual Don Hawk's was torn down,
Right.
that part of the building, and the new Dollar General Market's been open since April, I think, doing well. And on top of that, we've been really working on getting the facade upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been up there in the last couple of days, the whole parking lot is paved now, or most of it. We've got the outside facade done on the big part of the building, and we're working on the movie theater building now. Got a couple things opening up, though. There's a beauty school, Bloom Beauty Institute, is going to be opening up next month there. Cosmetology school. And then TR Fitness is going to be in there in December. They're going to be opening up. And then we've got a couple more that can't really say exactly what they are at this time. But then hopefully we're also putting in a Ray Cole's coffee bar is going to be in there. That'll probably be spring, summer next year. It's kind of been getting pushed back as we're bringing on other people that want to be in there. What's cool about it to me is we haven't even advertised it yet. Every tenant that we have slated right now came to us, so I feel like once a couple tenants get in there and there's some life up there and you have people driving through, there's going to be people calling. So, and like I said, we haven't even advertised at all. So it's a good thing.
And I guess we're also talking about more jobs, too, for the area.
Absolutely, yeah. That's huge.
That's what we really want to bring, more jobs. I mean, obviously, when I was there and Bonne as the mayor, that was our focus, and it still is their focus there, and just try to bring more jobs in. And so.
As you've got into the old movie theater, and I know that's like a place for a lot of fond memories for so many people in the community.
Definitely.
Are you planning on kind of keeping the structure of that and trying to open that up for something similar, or is that just going to be completely torn down and rebuilt? What's the plan there?
The building won't be torn down. I mean, it was going in that movie theater the first time we went in there. It looked like they showed a movie, and when was that closed down? 94, maybe?
Right, yeah.
And they sold the last ticket. The people walked out. They locked the doors, and that was it. Like the movie stubs. Drop Dead Fred, I think, was one of the last movies played there because there was a bunch of movie stubs for Drop Dead Fred. But so that was like a blast from the past walking in there. I mean, and I can remember as a kid, I have vivid memories of standing there waiting for the doors to open so you could go in, and I just thought that room was huge. Yeah. And we walked in there, and it was not big. It was very small. So perspective, as a 9-year-old to now. But yeah, I mean, it's set up to be a movie theater. I mean, it's gutted right now, and figuring out what could fit that space well is be a little bit of a challenge. In a perfect world, someone would come in and open a movie theater. I think that'd be great for Bonne Terre, but that's a difficult business. So it's kind of up in the air right now.
I would imagine both of you guys have really learned the meaning of the word patience, economic development.
Yes.
You got to be really patient, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
It takes time.
Talk a little bit about some of the work that has happened in downtown Park Hills as well, and kind of how that, I guess, prepared you for further economic development and some of the other ventures that you've been going through.
Yeah, we've been working in Park Hills, on downtown Park Hills for the last 7-8 years. It started with the City View building, the old Y apartments, and we bought that, had no idea what we were getting into. That was really the first extreme renovation that we did, and it took us 3-4 years to do it. But it's something, what it's taught me is make a budget and then double it and add 20%. Honestly. It's hard. There's no preparing for what's going to happen. That's why as we, me and Derek Hulsey, as we've done these, we kind of plan, just gut it. start over. You get a better product at the end, and that's exactly what we're doing at the Plaza.
Yeah.
We took it down to the shell.
And that's why he talked about earlier about the partnership. And when we this all came about, and me and my brother had purchased that property, and my dad, and we was like, we need somebody that knows what they're doing with these older buildings. And obviously we were already partners with them on a lot of other stuff, and just made sense to like, hey, these guys know what they're doing. They got a crew, guys, and come in there and do it the right way. And then the bones of that plaza was perfectly good, all red iron and stuff.
Yeah.
And we just kind of gutted it out and starting from scratch. And I put new roofs on it. We did do a new roof. We had to dry it in, obviously, and then kind of take it from there and then build it out from there. So
Yeah, that was the biggest thing, is get it gutted out and get a roof on it so that it stays dry, because it had been leaking for years and years.
So what's been the response from the community when they see all this work going on all these changes being made? What are they telling you guys?
Oh, I think everyone's ecstatic about it. Very good response from the community. At first, I mean, I talked to several people that are like, I don't see how that's going to happen, but we've been told that before.
Absolutely.
we had a great response from the city administrators and the people on the council and the mayor, and they've all reached out, and they kind of stay in touch and always say, hey, it's looking great, and always just kind of stay in touch with them. And but yeah, people from the community, they just, every time you see somebody, they're just like, always thank you. Hey, I can't wait till that gets done. And so it's a good.
Nothing but support, really.
I wanted to ask about your podcast as well. I was telling Brandon when he got here first, I'm like, we really need to look organized. We need to have our stuff together because we have a podcast professional joining us here today. And we talked to Andrea and Angela a few episodes back, and I remember I bought a bass guitar from Sean Martin at Karsh's grocery store in Deloge in 1994. So I didn't know that he was involved in that as well. But talk a little bit about how that's been, and how in the heck do you have time to do that too?
Yeah, you just make time. You give up something or you sleep less, and sleep less has really been how we did that. And it's kind of slowed down the last couple years up until a few weeks ago. We had slowed the podcast down at the request of law enforcement, and we think it's paid off. So there's going to be a trial, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, Sean is my uncle. It's my mom's brother, and we had the idea 4.5 years ago. Let's start a podcast and try to research this murder of our cousin from 34 years ago. And it, I say I don't know that we could have seen it getting to this point, but the whole reason we did it was to get to this point. But it's a little surreal.
No doubt. And do you have any advice for us, like things that we can do to make our podcast better?
Please.
Yes, we're all ears.
You guys are doing a great job. I listen to you.
Where do you see yourselves in 5 years? I guess we can talk about Park Hills and Bonne Terre. Brandon, where would you like to see your development there in Bonne Terre be in 5 years?
I mean, in 5 years or hopefully sooner, we would really like to obviously see it full and have some good tenants up there and some long-term leases in place. And that's kind of our goal from the get-go, is to get that up and running and get it full. And then obviously that's the end goal, is to do that and bring some more business to the community. Yeah,
the goal will be in hopefully 5 years is further than this, but maybe in 2 years or a year, pull in the parking lot and you can't find a spot, and all the lights are on, and there's people shopping, spending money locally, and that's the whole goal.
Yep. Absolutely. Sure. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. I know you got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, but appreciate the time, and best of luck, and we'll definitely need to do this again here real soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
All right. Brandon Hubbard, Chris Hulsey joining us here on the Parkland Podcast. Let's talk about Save-A-Lots of the Parkland. They're in Bonne Terre, DeSoto, Potosi, Park Hills, and Farmington. And they have an excellent selection of items. And I love how they're getting more local items in. And one of the best things around locally is this from Bailey Joe's. So yummy.
Yes, Bailey Joe's saw Jeremy, and he gave us a couple of these to brag about. These are available in Save-A-Lot stores. This is their dressing, their Italian dressing. We also have some barbecue sauce. I believe there's a barbecue and a cherry glaze
Yes.
there as well. And they started phenomenal and worked their way up. But that's just an example of the great quality products you will find at Save-A-Lot. And I got to tell you, at our men's club barbecue, we had a few leftover chickens from the John Thomas Scholarship Fundraiser, and we broke them out. All that chicken came from Save-A-Lot. And I got to tell you, it's fabulous.
Yeah, they do such a great job. They have butchers in every store. They're always, looking at ways to bring new and exciting items to the store. So things are changing. It's not, the same every time, which is real exciting. They do a great job. Check them out today. They're Save-A-Lots of the Parkland, Bonne, Terre, DeSoto, Park Hills, Potosi, and Farmington. Discover Farmington is more than you ever imagined. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.gov allows you to find out about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. There are so many things going on. I want to ask you, though, about something that you're involved in with Discover Farmington, and that's those historic downtown cemetery tours they're putting on.
It's really just one big cemetery that we're going to be going to. We're going to start things off at the old jail. They're going to have Jeff Kreitz is going to be a part of that, and Jesse Williams, and they're going to do a brief description of Long Hall and the jail, and then they're going to take folks out to the cemetery, and they're going to have various people out there that are going to portray. I'm Dubert Long. You can call
Long
me,
Memorial Hall.
Call me Doobie.
Yeah.
That Long Memorial Hall is named after me.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to folks there in front of their cemeteries about what we did and what made us, relevant in the history of Farmington. It's going to be a great thing. The Voices of the Past Downtown Cemetery Tour. But there's a couple of different events that'll be coming up throughout the month that are a part of this as well. And if you need more information, contact Discover Farmington for sure. They're the answer for everything going on around this area.
And that website's discoverfarmingtonmo.com. You can find out about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. Discover Farmington, more than you ever imagined.
Hey, it's Mark Toti here, and there's no better place to watch the big game than Spokes Pub and Grill in Farmington. Chris and Dina Spence invite you out to enjoy the great menu and the fun atmosphere that Spokes always provides. For me, I love the burgers. The catfish sandwich is amazing. The pork chops are awesome. They have huge salads, and you should always leave room for dessert when you go to Spokes. Check out their Facebook page to see when your favorite band is performing. And as always, for rolling good times, it's Spokes Pub and Grill right off Highway 67 in Farmington.
Let's do some birthdays and some anniversaries now on the Parkland podcast. Happy birthday to you. Mark Toti, who do you have celebrating a birthday on Monday, October 7th?
Just one birthday on the list for Monday, and that is Karen Farrell. I've known Karen. I met her actually at the Deloge Labor Day picnic many, many years ago. We once hiked the entire St. Joe Trail at St. Joe State Park together. And I haven't seen her in a while, but Karen, I hope you're doing well. Happy birthday wishes to you.
How about Tuesday, October 8th?
Tuesday, Jessica Pryor celebrates a birthday. If my memory serves me right, she's a graduate of Farmington High School. She was the very first Country Days queen.
Really?
Back over that 5-year stand where they had the Country Days Queen pageant. She was the very first Country Days queen. Jessica, good morning and happy birthday to you. And our good buddy and Mr. Trivia, Kimball Crum, has a birthday as well.
Kimball's such a good dude, longtime librarian in the Central School District, and
Smart.
now very smart. Now he lives in Springfield.
Yes.
With his kids. He kind of followed them down there. Happy birthday, Mike Mapes, former local coach and athletic director. Is he still the golf coach at Mac? I don't know.
I think he is, but we'll have to ask Jim Gerwitz that when he comes in a couple of weeks.
Right, and his birthday's coming up. Oh, I spoiled it. And Ron Story, Mr. Story, was the PE teacher at Deloge Elementary for about 20 years, and he got inducted into the North County Hall of Fame this past year, and Chad Winch had him here in the barn to do a podcast, and when I listened to that, I'm like, man, I think I want to maybe try some podcasting later. So Mr. Story, you kind of have something to do with getting this going. So happy birthday to you, Rombo. How about Wednesday, October 9th?
Wednesday, happy 90th birthday to my Aunt Donna.
All right.
Donna Bedwell. She is my godmother. Happy birthday to you, Aunt Donna. I love you, and we had a great time at your party this past Sunday. My cousin, Bob Bentrup, celebrating a birthday as well. So a dual celebration there. Let's see. Becky Buchanan, married to Andy Buchanan
Andy.
at First State Community Bank. She does the Pink Penguin Project.
Yes,
Happy
very good.
birthday wishes to you. Kelly Harris, happy birthday to you from your sister Tammy and all of your family and your kids. A guy I went to high school with, Jim Brookshire, celebrates a birthday today. He was a really good wrestler at Eureka High School, but he would always lose come the state tournament to a guy from Central High School. He would always tell me about that. Casey Reeves, a really good musician.
Yes.
Does a great Tom Petty imitation. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Holly Armand, happy birthday wishes to you from Kelly Harris and from Tammy Pinkley and all of your family. And just a sweetheart of a gal. She's married, has 3 boys, a lot of beef in her family. Tanya Thomas, celebrating a birthday today. The pride and joy of First State Community Bank. Tanya, happy birthday to you.
Her oldest is a senior.
Got a broken collarbone.
Yeah. He's still on the swim team, though, I think.
It makes it hard to do the stroke.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, Tanya, her boys do a great job in helping out with the 445 service at St. Paul Church, too.
Very, very good. And your husband's a model when he does that slow walk in that commercial for St. Francis Medical Center. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that one.
Yeah, you should watch that. He does the slow walk. It's pretty good. Happy birthday on Wednesday as well to Lisa Kane and Jeannie Ferguson, celebrating a birthday today on Wednesday. How about Thursday, October 10th?
Thursday, James Dickey, celebrating a birthday for a long time. He was at Spokes Pub and Grill. He and his wife, Helen, and now he's helping out at, helps run the place at Twin Oaks Winery. Just a heck of a good guy. Happy birthday to you. Sam Weekly, the man, the myth, the legend, the cop, the student resource officer at Farmington. Happy birthday.
My lunch duty buddy.
Yeah. I played volleyball with Sam back in the day. He was in a lot better shape 15 years ago.
But weren't we all?
Yeah, I'm not sure he could jump over the top of the net and spike the ball anymore. He'd be more of a setter these days. Happy birthday to you, though, Sam.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to Amy Jarrett, known Amy forever. She goes to St. Paul Lutheran Church. Her daughter, Jayla, is a cheerleader at Farmington High School.
All right.
So happy birthday wishes to you. Amy, we used to make Jayla mad when she was like a little squirt. I've known her since she was like 2 years old. We'd see her and we'd go, Jayla, Jayla, Jayla. And she'd go, stop singing that song. Now she doesn't mind so much anymore. But happy birthday, Amy.
Happy birthday on Thursday to Becky Grimminger of Deloge. Happy birthday to you. And Potosi legend and now retired former Festus Athletic Director Eric Allen with a birthday today on Thursday. And Eric really, really likes to brag about how well his retirement is going because I believe his wife retired as well, and they're just going all over the place and having a great time. Happy birthday, Eric. How about Friday, October 11th? Who are your birthdays for that day?
A couple of people I used to work with, actually. Donna Baker, she was a salesman at the radio station for a couple of years back in the day. Happy birthday to you, Donna, from your girls and all your family. My buddy Greg Hampton, he ended up marrying Brenda, who was a principal at North County School District.
Right. Yeah.
But Greg, back in the day, I mean, he was a pretty buff dude.
Right.
And for a while, we were going to the gym together, and man, we'd combine to bench press 500 pounds.
Wow.
He did the first 450, and then I took over after that. But anyway, Greg, happy birthday wishes to you. Shelley Bishop,
Yes.
Birthday to you, young lady. Hope you are doing fantastic. That's from all your family. And Mary Hagan, Mary and Glenn Hagan, they've been selling real estate for a long, long time. Mary, happy birthday. She worked with Coldwell Banker, Hulsey Real Estate.
Happy birthday to my nephew, Jacob Waller. Hope it's a great one for you, Waller. You need to change your Facebook profile, though, because it says you're 29 years old, and I know that's not true. I'm sure when you designed it, you needed to look older for some reason.
Waller.
Anyway, happy birthday, Jacob. Summer Toomey with the birthday on Friday. And one of my BKTV top students, Savannah Walker, with a birthday on Friday, October 11th. How about Saturday, October 12th?
Saturday, got some good birthdays. Janet Rickus, 3-time Lutheran of the Year at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Farmington. Happy birthday to you from your husband, Glennie, and your 3 beautiful daughters and all the grandkids. Happy birthday wishes going out to Kate Lewis. She worked for about a year at J98 as a salesperson. Yeah. She was so quiet. She would hardly ever talk, but I made her talk during Bids for Bargains a few times. I don't think she's ever.
You did that with a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever forgiven me. Casey Carando. Happy birthday to you from your mom and your dad and your brother. Casey actually worked at Spokes Pub and Grill as a server, and I've known her since she was just like a little squirt. And every time I'd go in, I'd give her $1 and say, here's $1. But I'm not waiting on you. I don't care. Here's $1. And I did that every time I saw her. And about 6 months ago or so, she came up to me. She goes, I still have every one of those dollars.
Wow.
Thought, that's
she's a
cool.
saver.
Well, she finally traded. She's got 3 girls of her own now.
Right.
So she finally traded it in to buy stuff for her kids, which is totally understandable. And the man, the myth, the legend, the race driver, Tommy Worley. Happy birthday wishes to you from Julie and all your family.
Saturday, I have a happy birthday wish for Samantha Kemper. Hope you are doing great and keeping Mason in line. Victoria Chandler, one of the cool performers from the Baby Boomers concert. She was in GTO for a while as well. Super talented no matter what she does. Happy birthday to you. And Erica Jordan, one of my former Unitech students from Fredericktown at Southeast Missouri State University. Her and her buddy Sam got second in media production their senior year, and just did all kinds of really cool creative work. Happy birthday, Erica. Hope you're having a great day and a great school year. How about Sunday, October 13th?
Sunday, happy birthday to Kathy Bresnahan. Went to school with her. She's married to one of my all-time greatest best friends, Vince Bresnahan. Spent many a weekends at the Bresnahan residence where we would stay up all night and tell goofy, dumb stories, and then we'd get up at like 7 o'clock the next morning, and Kathy would always cook us a really good breakfast, and then we'd go back to telling more scary, stupid, silly stories until it was time to watch football. Then we'd watch football, and then
that's
I
the
would
life,
go home.
man.
Yeah. She is just a sweetheart of a gal. Kathy, happy birthday wishes to you. Happy birthday wishes going out to Jeremy Horton, the man, the myth, the legend from Bailey Joe's Barbecue, and that wonderful sauce, the great pulled pork. Oh, and so much more. Yeah. Happy birthday wishes to you, Jeremy. Happy birthday wishes to Dan Shunks. I know he's a good buddy of yours. Anything you want to add on him?
Baby Boomer, reporter now, extraordinaire, doing a great job with that. Master of cats. And for some reason, I still feel the urge to call him Mr. Shunks, even though I never actually had band classes with him.
It's also David Cater's birthday.
Oh,
I didn't know that his first name was Roy until about 2 weeks ago.
I know, and he now Tim's been roying him out all over Facebook, which is pretty funny.
And he went. Tim went on. We're talking about Tim Morgan from Offenburg. He went on a vacation over to Europe, and he took a picture of David with him and said, "Roy's here in England. Roy's over here." Tim's wife got mad at him. We did not bring David along on our vacation. Now you're making this vacation all about him.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Happy birthday, Lord Cater, from your wife and all of your kids, your grandkids, and hope it's a great day for you, buddy.
The former athletic director of the year nationwide, Jim Gerwitz. Happy birthday, future guest of the podcast.
Yeah, he's going to be on next week, I think, right?
It's either next week or the week after.
Yeah, he's excited about it, too. I saw him at Panera, and he's all pumped to be on the Park. He was singing the Parkland Podcast theme song.
Bring us some season tickets to MAC basketball, too, games, by the way.
You know what? He said something about that. I think we're getting them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Jim,
Yeah.
I called him the athletic director of the year at Spokes Pub and Grill one night in front of his whole family and about 200 other people there. He got really embarrassed, which made me say it even louder.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So happy birthday to you, Jimmy, and happy birthday wishes to our good buddy and former coworker, Mike Ramsey.
Ah, the Rammer.
The Rams are,
Always
I've
had so
told
much change in his pocket.
Oh, yes, and every time he moved, you heard it, too. I have told my share of bad jokes on the radio before, but Mike is the king of bad jokes.
He takes it to a whole new level, doesn't he?
And what you need to do is go find a picture of Mike Ramsey on Facebook, and then go find a picture of the author Stephen King.
Oh, yes.
They could pass for brothers.
They could. Absolutely. Happy birthday, Mike. I want to wish a happy birthday as well to former state representative Linda Black Tamure.
Yes.
Happy birthday to Linda. I always thought she did a nice job. And Katrina Crocker, teacher in the Potosi School District. Katrina was a paraprofessional in my very first class at Unitech. And man, was she a ton of help. Oh, my gosh.
She had a great band, too.
Katrina and the Waves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, still rocking. There you go. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Crocker. Hope it's a great day for you. And those are your birthdays and anniversaries for this week right here on the Parkland Podcast. Heimberger Construction, heimbergerconstruction.com. Since 1978, they've been putting together fantastic buildings around the parkland. You can see them. And they have a secret weapon when it comes to their buildings, and a fine organization that helps there.
Well, one of their secret weapons is Jennifer herself.
Right, yes.
She is awesome and amazing. But they also specialize in Butler buildings. They are the best metal building systems on the market. The only buildings that have a pre-punched roof system and standard 360-degree roof seam for their standing seam roof. And I am sure if you travel around the area, you're going to see a Heimberger-built building.
Mocap in Park Hills and Farmington, Griffin Automotive in Bonne, Terre, Legacy Products in Bonne, Terre, Paramount Glass, the expansion in Park Hills, Crown Valley Winery, just to name a few. Their website's beautiful, heimbergerconstruction.com. Give Jenny a call today, 431-4387.
Good people to work with.
Let's check the events page. That's presented by Discover Farmington. More than you ever imagined. Discover Farmington Mo allows you to find out more about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. And there are so many cool fall events coming up. And again, you can find out about them all at discoverfarmingtonmo.com.
Farmington, Missouri, your destination for a perfect weekend getaway. Dine in at one of our quality restaurants or visit one of our surrounding wineries. Farmington offers a variety of parks and other recreational leisure time activities. See some sights, have some fun, and go wherever your heart takes you. Sounds like a lot of fun, so get a room and stay a while. All this and more awaits you just 60 miles south of St. Louis. Discover Farmington today.
Mom's Cafe will offer up another free meal this Wednesday at 5:30. They do that every Wednesday at the Methodist Church in Farmington.
Dine Out for the United Way of St. Francis County continues Thursday night at El Tapatio in Farmington.
And actually, that is all day from the time they open up. Babblin About Broadway, a musical review, takes place October 11th and 12th at 7 p.m. and October 13th at 3 p.m. at Truman Auditorium.
The side-by-side for Season of Hope happening October the 12th, 9 a.m. at the St. Francis County Fairgrounds. That event benefits the St. Francis County Community Partnership.
Jack-o'-lantern Jamboree, Saturday, October 19th, 4 to 11 at the St. Francis County Raceway.
There'll be a trunk or treat in Deloge City Park on October 23rd. That's from 5 to 7.
Goals Night Out for the United Way of St. Francis County Ladies. That takes place on Thursday, October 24th at 5 o'clock at Twin Oaks.
Stall or Treat, a Halloween party at the Stables on Old Fredericktown Road, happening October 26th from 6 to 9 p.m.
And two other quick notes. Voices of the Past Downtown Cemetery Tour in the historic downtown Farmington is October 26th. And mark your calendar for Friday, November 1st, starting at 6 o'clock, a housewarming for Habitat to benefit the St. Francis County chapter of Habitat for Humanity.
Again, your events page brought to you as always by Discover Farmington. More than you ever imagined. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.gov allows you to find out more about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. Find out about local events and even book a wedding or day trip at DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com. Let's talk about Parkland Pharmacy, local pharmacy at its finest. They're in Deloge, they're in Farmington, they're in Fredericktown, Ironton, Piedmont, Greenville. The wife was sick a few days last week. I've been like snotty and not doing my best, but don't worry. Parkland Pharmacy has everything you need to feel better in addition to those prescription medicines and home care equipment.
Great customer service. Don't forget, now's the time you want to start thinking about flu shots.
Oh, yeah.
And getting all your medications ready for the cold and flu season that's coming up. And for folks of a certain age, if you are getting ready for Medicare, there's a young lady by the name of Judy Boring that is there at Parkland Pharmacy. She goes from each of the different pharmacies, and she will talk with you and get you the right Medicare program for you. She is fabulous at what she does. I like to brag about Judy wherever I go.
Yeah, she's really, really good. And so is everybody else at Parkland Pharmacy. Deloge, Farmington, Fredericktown, Ironton, Piedmont, and Greenville.
And they'll be our guests next week on the podcast.
All right.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long, or pretzel, and probably not a churro. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. Then we said, but we already made them, and they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Let's check sports now on the Parkland podcast, and we begin with our Parkland Sports Live game of the week. Homecoming night at Central High School. They take on the Potosi Trojans. The Rebels come away with the win 34-26. After the ball game, Rebel head coach Korey Schweiss.
Another day at the office, is that what that was? I mean, what do you describe? A whole lot happened in the game. We can't recap all of it, but you found a way to win another football game. And, Korey, when it comes down to the bottom line, that's got to mean something, that you're finding ways to win games that can go either way.
Yeah, I really honestly don't know what to say. Like, we've had so many really, really good football teams over the past decade, 15 years. And I don't know if any of them had to fight like we've had to fight this year to win football games. It's crazy. I mean, we're 3-0 in the conference, and all three of those games we probably shouldn't have won. And our kids found a way to win them. And I guess that's from this year, the 2024 Rebels, that's all I can ask. And, they do fight. They do fight. I give them that. I understand what we are. And at the end of the day, they're 5-1. I don't know how we're 5-1, but we are. And, we'll live for another week.
Is there anything to be said for some of the guys that were part of last year, that knowing how to win, just we're expected to win, we'll have to find a way to do it? And, Coach, you found so many different ways, whether it be triple overtime, double overtime, or a game like tonight. Is there anything to be said for, there's a mentality that we win?
Well, you can tell 49. He was a big part of those last 2-3 years that probably could have won state or did win state. Man, he's willed us a lot of it. Our younger guys are trying to follow him. That's all they can do. Hayden Carver is a big part of that, and obviously we ran behind him at the end of that game. And there's a lot to tradition. There's a lot to winning. I was a part of that when I played in high school, and there were games that we won that we had no business winning, even back then. And a lot of it is in your head. You just expect to win, like you think you're going to win. And our kids are there, I think. And it's even the kids that really weren't a part of those last few years, they just expect to win football games. And so when we've had these games like this, they've just found ways to win. Like I said, I don't know how. It's just I can't tell you how many times in the last our 3 conference games I was on the sideline thinking, I don't know how we're going to win this game, and we've won them all. So I don't know. I think God's on our side a little bit too. We talk about that a lot. We'll just see how the rest of the season goes, but we are what we are.
In terms of Jackson, is he? I'll say, is he okay physically? I know he's banged up because of the way he plays. He just plays that way. But I looked at him at times tonight, and I thought it's a bit of a struggle. He's going to play through it. We know that. Is he generally okay?
Yeah. I've got him as a cadet teacher. He comes to my room every day. He's in good spirits. He's good to go. He's just a great kid, laughing all the time. I don't want him to have to take the hits that he's taken in our 3 conference games. But, for these kids, the conference games mean more. I tried to take it easy on him in St. Dominic, and you kind of see what happened. So you kind of got to pick your games, I think. The winnable games, you think you got a chance, you're going to probably use him more. We'll see. I don't want to say we're not going to use him next week because he's not going to want to hear that. But there's just certain games that we're going to have to keep him fresher going down the stretch run. So, things may be a little different the next 2-3 weeks because I think hopefully this sealed up a 2 seed at least for us. And, we get to play Dexter with a chance at a 1 seed. And, that'll be an important game for us. So I'm not saying next week's not important. Obviously it's Valley. We know all that stuff. But, as a coach, I kind of know what we are. And we're going to play for, weeks 10, 11, and 12, whatever that may be.
2 more for you. We'll let you go. One on the defense tonight, second half particularly. You shut down their run game completely. They had no run game in the second half. Just what did you see from your defense?
Well, defensively, I thought that was the best we played all year in the second half. Now, I know their center went down, and that was a big blow to them. They're like us and all these other teams. They get an injury, and the depth, I'm not taking anything away the kid to come in, but depth is an issue for a lot of us. And, you can tell when 1 or 2 guys get banged up and they go out, there's a little bit of a drop-off. And, plus, we changed things schematically at halftime, which helped us, obviously. But I felt like it looked like we played a lot harder and we tackled better and did all the things to be a better defensive team. Like I said, I thought it was the best we played all year defensively.
Going back to the end of the first half, no way we can analyze it as you walked off. So I did talk to the Whitecap. I did talk to the officials. And one of the explanations I was given is arms were extended when they pushed him in with the assistance with the runner. So that's why the call's made. Did you get that explanation? Are you satisfied with it? Or is this a confusing rule for both coaches and officials maybe?
It's not a confusing rule. It's confusing because it's officiated differently every week. You know what I mean? It's like they need to get it consistent because we've been doing it for 4 weeks. I've talked to the head guy and he said that you can do it. So obviously there's a disconnect in the communication, and that's what I was saying. I wasn't mad at them. I'm just mad at the fact that we're in week 5 or week 6, whatever week we're in, week 6, and we've been doing it all year, and not once have we been told we can't. I've even asked other officials, and they said it's fine. So it's just the lack of communication on their part. And it ended up being a big play, so the emotion was into it, obviously. If it's one of those things that, it's not a 13-point swing, it's probably not going to be that emotional. But obviously, with it being, a 13-point swing in a close game, and we've done it for 6 weeks, obviously that's why I was emotional about it. But, the crew did a great job. That's a really good crew. It's one of the best crews we've had, so I was pleased with them.
Always a pleasure. See you soon.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Potosi head coach Dylan Wyrick also talked to Parkland Sports Live.
I think a tip of the cap is in order. And, Coach, I know coaches don't play for moral victories, and I know you don't play and walk off a field saying, yeah, we lost, we'd be happy about it. But you did a lot of things tonight that I think are worthy of some accolades. What did you see from your group? And I know it was disheartening, but that was a hard-fought game.
It was really good to see our kids just fight for 4 quarters and not give up and, make some big plays in really big situations. And, hats off Central Rebels, though. These guys, they've had some really tough games, some really tight games down the stretch here, and they've always come out on top, and that says a lot about the way they're coached and the way they carry themselves.
In terms of guts, effort, all that, How can you kind of get it across to your group? I know we lost the game, but if that kind of effort is there all the time, you'll come out on top more often than not. Can they understand that as young men?
I think they will. They just got to shake this one off, go home and rest, and make good decisions, and come back in Sunday afternoon to watch some film and get ready to play next week and continue to build on what we did tonight.
Was there anything particular that stood out on the positive side of things tonight that you go, I'm most happy with these one or two things?
Well, I think defensively I felt like we played outstanding. It's tough to stop that offense for a full game like that. Jackson Jones just has a motor and it never quits, and it seems like sometimes he's slow to get up, but then he just keeps coming back and keeps on carrying his team and doing good things. And Karis Foster is a really tough guy to tackle. I feel like their offensive line and defensive line, they held up throughout the game. So but our kids offensively, I was really pleased with how we ran the ball in the first half. PJ made some adjustments in the second half. We struggled, and they kind of took the run game away, which PJ Jones is a good defensive coordinator. So, but I was really pleased with our quarterback, number 20, Maxwell. I felt like they both had a really good game. Davey really came out of his shell, ran the ball well, and threw the ball well.
Anything that stands out that you're like, we got to be better at that area?
Yeah, still mistakes, costly mistakes in big-time situations. We had opportunities to make plays. We dropped some passes tonight we probably should have caught. But other than that, I there's not a whole lot I can say about that one other than I'm really proud of our kids, and that, I have a lot of respect for the Central Rebels.
Wrap it up with this. Districts are going to come up really soon. You guys got to stay day to day. We look ahead. My goodness. It's wide open. Everybody that we're seeing is equal. Can you look at that a little bit and go, I don't care what the record is right now. We're going to have a chance at district time.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to who's healthy at the end of the season and who's still having fun with football and what kids still want to keep playing.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate your coverage.
And again, the Rebels now 5-1 on the season.
North County blinked over the weekend by Festus. Final score 31-0.
Farmington Knights, another victory on the road, 49-21 over Union.
DeSoto puts up 45 points on Fredericktown, winning 45-20.
How about the Perryville Pirates? They keep winning, a 42-36 victory over the Blue Jays of Jefferson.
Valley Catholic playing some good football. They shut out St. Genevieve in that crosstown rivalry, 53-0.
Hillsboro, a winner over Windsor, 64-24.
And watch out for those St. Vincent Indians. They win again, 56-21 over Bayless.
Mineral Area College Soccer, the MAC men, now 9-3-1 on the season.
The soccer team, 5-6-1.
And the volleyball team, 11-5 and 3-1 in conference play.
And we have more football coming up this week, right?
We're going to finish out our homecoming loop of the county. We'll be at North County, where the Raiders will welcome in the Windsor Owls for homecoming festivities. And you'll be able to catch that Friday night right here on the Barn, as well as on the Parkland Podcast Facebook page. Do you want to talk any MLB postseason action?
Go Royals. We're all Royals fans now.
Absolutely. All about the Royals, rooting heavily against the Yankees. And then, I don't know about you, but I vaguely remember those Yankees-Royals playoff series, George Brett back in that era, and that was fun baseball.
That was intense.
Especially when, George Brett got accused of the pine tar.
Oh, yeah.
That was regular season, though, wasn't it?
That was regular season.
Yeah.
But there was a real intensity in that rivalry.
Oh,
sure.
No doubt about it. So go Royals. We're pulling for the Royals on behalf of Chad Speaker and Joe Gilgore.
And our buddy Paul Meinson.
Yes, for you too. Those are your sports. This is the Parkland Podcast. I love Spokes Pub and Grill. Remember that song?
I remember that song. I've lived that song.
Spokes Pub and Grill, a sponsor of the Parkland Podcast. I know we went there last weekend for some karaoke. It was a great time. The
you
entertainment was
karaoke.
top-notch. Yes.
I sat there and watched.
Yes, you did. You watched a lot of great performances that night. But my goodness, Mark, the food at Spokes is unbelievable.
I have fallen in love with the fried chicken that they have on the menu at a Spokes Pub and Grill, and I absolutely love their mashed potatoes and gravy, and they have grilled veggies there that are just so good. Now, I also love the pork chops. The pork chops at Spokes are fabulous. They have a great steak sandwich. The catfish sandwich is unbelievable. It is so good. I guess what I'm saying is you can't go wrong whatever you order. The burgers are fantastic. And you can also like substitute, like if you like the burgers but you prefer chicken as your meat, you can substitute the chicken in for the burger. I think it might be $1 more. I'm not sure about that
Plug
even.
for $1, baby.
But I have done that a couple of times too. Love the food at Spokes Pub and Grill.
I panicked last Saturday when it came time to order because I was planning on pork chops and I was torn with pork chop, catfish sandwich, kept going back and forth. Server showed up. I go, give me the mega burger. Which was still great.
Yeah,
still great. But yeah, I couldn't make a decision. But always a great time, and I guess I just need to go back again and try something else.
I know I will.
Spokes Pub and Grill, rolling good times, a sponsor of the Parkland Podcast. Let's talk about Save-A-Lots of the Parkland. They're in Bonne, Terre, DeSoto, Potosi, Park Hills, and Farmington. And they have an excellent selection of items. And I love how they're getting more local items in. And one of the best things around locally is this from Bailey Joe's. So yummy.
Yes, Bailey Joe's saw Jeremy, and he gave us a couple of these to brag about. These are available in Save-A-Lot stores. This is their dressing, their Italian dressing. We also have some barbecue sauce. I believe there's a barbecue and a cherry glaze there as well. And they started phenomenal and worked their way up. But that's just an example of the great quality products you will find at Save-A-Lot. And I got to tell you, at our men's club barbecue, we had a few leftover chickens from the John Thomas Scholarship Fundraiser, and we broke them out. All that chicken came from Save-A-Lot, and I gotta tell you, it's fabulous.
Yeah, they do such a great job. They have butchers in every store. They're always looking at ways to bring new and exciting items to the store, so things are changing. It's not the same every time, which is real exciting. They do a great job. Check them out today. They're Save-A-Lots of the Parkland, Bonne, Terre, DeSoto, Park Hills, Potosi, and Farmington.
It's the memories made during a weekend with the girls, a family adventure, or a Sunday stroll in historic downtown. At First State Community Bank, we have a strong passion for small business owners and the students and families who live, work, and play here. Our passion for them runs deep because this is our community too. First State Community Bank. Success starts here.
Back on the Parkland Podcast, and we are going to babble about Broadway, a new review show coming to Truman Auditorium this weekend, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon, presented by the Vocal Vignettes. And we have joining us here in the barn, Danielle, Yilmaz, and Justin Radford. Thanks so much for coming in and telling us about this big event you have going on.
Well, thanks for having us. Thanks. You want to talk about this shindig? You want me to?
Yeah.
All right.
Go right ahead.
Well, we wanted to put on something. We wanted to throw out a musical, and was trying to. I kept saying to you, low hanging fruit. Like, what can we do that's not going to be like a huge heavy lift, but we can get a bunch of people involved. And so we came up with this review idea. We'll just get a bunch of people together and play some music and sing some songs around Broadway. Just Broadway stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we had some people come out to the audition, and we started this not really knowing where it was going to go and how many people were going to show up, but we actually had a pretty big group. We had over 30 people that came to the audition, and most of them are adults. We do have about 3 or 4 older teenagers in the show, and they're going to be performing things that are anything from the golden era, classics, to more like modern musicals. So it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Now my wife is in this,
yes,
and of course she gives me all the background. She's like, well, this person who was in this show is here, and this person who was in that show is here, and it's kind of a conglomeration of local theater talent from probably, the last 30 years or so?
Yeah, I mean, we really lucked out with this group. And that was when we were talking about doing this, it was kind of like, well, let's just see who shows up, because we didn't have these songs in mind. We didn't necessarily have it all planned out. We were like, let's see what group we get, and then we'll kind of build a show around that. And then we had a bunch of amazing people show up who've done theater in the past, who have, is teaching theater or involved in theater somewhere around the area. So it really kind of became this, glue for,
It's really cool.
Yeah.
We have Potosi's theater director. We have Kayla Lowry, who is Farmington's theater director. We've got a few of the other people from some of the others. We have Chuck over at Central who's joining us. So it's really kind of neat. What we had them do was write down songs that they really wanted to perform, and that sort of was an icebreaker. And that way, what we could do with those lists is not necessarily put those particular songs in the show, but we could kind of learn a little bit more about their personality and what style they enjoy singing, and that way we could sort of pick something and just make it to where they would feel comfortable singing a certain song within a certain group. So we could group these people up according to what genre and what style that they enjoy singing.
Yeah, so. It was kind of an interesting process that we endeavored.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know that we did it. We wanted to do it on purpose, but that's what it turned into, and it kind of worked out really, really well. Because then, I love, people are like, oh my God, I love this song. I can't wait to sing it. And everybody's really excited about it, and that was great. Just because we didn't have to okay, you got to be at rehearsal every night, and you've got to, we didn't have to hammer down on these people, because these are theater professionals. They already know what's expected of them, so we could only meet a few times during the week, and kind of because we had soloists and what like that, we weren't really even all together as a group until a couple of weeks ago. We all started to come together. So, but again, this group it was great. They came out of nowhere.
So when we interviewed Kevin White about the Baby Boomers show, one of the things he went on and on about was just how big of a talent pool there is for music. Have you guys discovered that's the same thing for theater?
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. There's a lot of talent, and I think sometimes because a lot of these people are educators, they kind of they're teaching it so much they kind of forget how much fun it is to be up on stage. And that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed is we've had people come and be like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. This has been more fun than anticipated. It's work too. But, we're kind of giving a chance to those people that don't get to be on stage that really like to be up there, a chance to be on there. So,
and it's definitely a singing show, so everybody gets to showcase their vocal talent.
Babblin About Broadway, October 11th, Friday night shows at 7:30, Saturday, October 12th, that shows at 7:30 as well, and then a Sunday matinee at 3:30. Tickets are $12 each. This is happening at Truman Auditorium in Farmington. How do people get tickets? I'm sure obviously available at the door, but can they get them ahead of time?
So the tickets will be available, $12 cash at the door. It's going to be general seating. But if you would like to purchase tickets in advance so you do not have to wait at the door, you can contact us through Vocal Vignette's Facebook page. Send us a message, and then I'll respond with how to go about that.
For people who have never been to a show like this, tell us about Babblin About Broadway and how it'll play out.
Well, we, like I said, we kind of just found a bunch of songs from Broadway that we enjoyed and liked and had the voices for, and kind of just put them all together. So, we're calling it a review. It's just a bunch of songs back to back. We sort of loosely weaved in, not really a storyline, but we're using, if you guys know the show Chicago, there's a character named Mr. Cellophane. And we're using Mr. Cellophane, the character, as kind of our narrator for the show. So he's going to kind of introduce each one of these songs. And with the review, there's not really a story itself. It's just, here's this song from this musical, and we'll get up and we'll do kind of our rendition of it.
Which is not your typical renditions of these songs.
Yeah, and we've taken some liberties.
What sets us apart is that we've taken standard songs that a lot of people are going to know some of the musicals that they're from, and we are not putting them in the context of the show. We're doing it in our own way. Yeah. So that's a different. And another difference between this is that this show is more of an ensemble show. So you're not going to have people getting up there and singing solos. We're going to have duets. That's about the closest thing that you're going to get. We have people singing solos within the ensemble, but it's very much an ensemble show. So we have big groups and small groups.
Yeah. So unlike, a regular play or musical that you might go see and you're just watching it from start to finish, this is just kind of a fun sit down, listen to the music. And really what I'm hoping, what I was hoping from the beginning, is that it kind of sparks some imagination with the people in the audience, either to, oh my gosh, I remember that song and I love, there's memories there and I love it. Or it's like, what is this show? I've never heard of this. What is it? And I'd like to pique some curiosity and get people to, be checking out these shows, because we tried to pull some things that have not been done around here, shows that maybe we wouldn't be able to do around here, but the music is still really good. And, that's kind of what makes it special.
Danielle, tell us about your singing career. I know we mentioned before the interview started that you've literally been around the world performing, and you're like, well, no, I've only been to this place, and then you listed off about 20 places. but talk about, I guess, your singing abilities and kind of the places that you've been and the things that you've seen.
Okay, well, I am actually an active performing artist. I'm a classical soprano, and I'm a soprano, a principal soprano for the St. Louis Symphony Chorus. So I've had some opportunities through there. I mean, I did a solo debut with the St. Louis Symphony about a year and a half ago with Beethoven's Egmont Symphony. I was a soloist in that. And then I also performed with Union Avenue Opera, and the last role that I did was this summer. I did the high priestess in Verdi's Aida, and I just finished up with that. So right now I'm basically just doing my chorus gig with a symphony chorus. So I'm from Fredericktown, and I studied with John Hauser and Jody McKinney, who were both very big influences in my life, and probably they're the reason why I'm where I'm at today. So I had them, and then I went to UMKC for 6 years and got my master's in opera. Wow. And then I went over to Germany and did some concert series. I have done concerts in Brazil. I have done concerts in Turkey, where I lived. I lived in Turkey for 4 years, so that was interesting.
I bet.
And then when I came back, we moved actually back to Fredericktown, and then we ended up in Farmington after that. So I did spend 11 years in Chicago, where I owned and operated my own musical theater company, my theater company, where I produced and directed musicals for youth every summer. I did a 6-week program, and we did full-scale musicals. So that's what I did. And I have an active private voice studio where I teach private voice lessons out of my home, in addition to doing this. And I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else that I left out.
Does anything stand out about all those different places that you've been that, boy, I was really glad I got to go there?
Yeah, I would say probably Germany is probably the one, because I felt like I did the most there, and I learned the most there, because I got to work with some amazing conductors and coaches, and I did a lot of training, and I felt like that was probably the place that I kind of feel like I could have stayed there, but I decided to move back to the U.S. and get married.
There's a whole lot of history there, too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of history there. There's even more history in Turkey.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Absolutely. And Justin, you've done a lot of things as well, a West County graduate, and then out to California, and you had your hands in a lot of different things.
Yeah. I kind of was a sponge. I just wanted to soak it all up, So it was. I went to Mac for a couple of years and did theater there, and kind of fell in love with theater at that point. And then when I went to Orange County, I joined an improv troupe and was working on some writing sketches and stuff like that. At South Coast Rep, I was taking classes in theater, and then would just kind of stumbled upon. I feel like there was. People needed help with their lights, or they would need help directing or whatnot, and just kind of took off from there. I was in Orange County for a few years, and then moved up to LA and got involved in some production stuff. I feel like the closer I got to Hollywood, the more I was like, oh, this is a lot. But I ended up in a children's educational studio. They do video games and kind of cartoons, and I got to produce with them and work on directing their VO and stuff like that, and did that for a few years while I was also working at a theater, either stage managing or writing. that theater had a children's theater program that they would do Saturday mornings, and I would have a co-writer. We would write some children's stuff and do that for about 6 months. We do every Saturday morning, and that was really a lot of fun. And then like we were mentioning the music video we produced a few years ago down Main Street. That was a lot of fun too. So I feel like I've done a lot of different things in a lot of different places. Yeah.
Very cool. And now you two working together again for Babblin, Bout, Broadway. Friday at 7:30, Saturday 7:30, Sunday 3:30. Tickets are just $12 each. You can reserve those through the Vocal Vignettes Facebook page, and I think I've mispronounced that every time I've said it.
Vignette.
Yeah. That's okay. Mrs. Lowry will make fun of me when this interview's over.
So when you work with young people, do you point out the fact that, hey, from Fredericktown, from Leadwood, you've gone all over the world, you've been out in L.A. and had so many successes. Do you tell them this can happen to you too?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I tell, especially my private students, I tell them that all the time.
Yeah, it's out there, and that's the message for a long time, I think, for me was always it's out there, so you can go and find it. And I think I've been out there, and then COVID kind of ruined everything, right? Kind of changed the entire world. So I think the idea for me now, I don't want to speak for you, but it's kind of like, yeah, you can go out there, and it is out there, but I'm starting to think like we need to do more here.
Yes.
So you don't have to feel like you have to leave the area to be artistic, because we do. We have so many artistic people in the area that don't always get their chance. So.
Right. I totally agree 100% with that.
And so with this show, assuming things go well and how rehearsals have gone, looks like things are going really well. This is something that you want to continue, right? And how can people get involved and become a part of this?
Well, at this first show, we're going to have a QR code set up at the front where people can scan it in and join our emailing list. And so they can get all of the news from us through the mailing list. So
we're just kind of just now getting off the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think future plans, absolutely. We kind of did the first audition sort of word of mouth, like who can come, who wants to. But I think if we can kind of build a following, if people are, if they're like, oh, I missed that first one. We want to do more open auditions. We want to have a new group of people. We want to build new shows like this, that would kind of simple. People can, I could do a couple days a week. I couldn't do,
Right, exactly.
And then build from there, because I think eventually we would like to do bigger things where, we will see you every night, and this will be more intense. But
it will be more intense, and so that's what I'm taking away from this. I mean, Justin and I both have experience in all of this, and it's really nice to be able to bring it to kind of the rural community, because I think you guys are right. A lot of people don't really know what's out there, and they need to be educated. And I think that that's what Justin and I bring to the plate, is our expertise and our experience that we have already had in this industry.
Yeah. Because it's always a lot different once you get out there.
Yeah. Right, and there are kids out there that just basically don't really know what to do. So when they come to my studio and we take voice lessons and things, I know how, where to go for auditions. How do you audition? How do you build a resume? How do you do this? I mean, eventually we're trying to teach people, how to do these things.
Yeah.
Because there really isn't a lot out there in this area.
I used to love auditioning out here. It was always, you're in front of everybody, and it was just a fun thing to do. And then I went out into the big world, and I auditioned.
You're like, wait.
They were so much different. It's like big fish, small pond,
right.
And then, big pond, small fish. It was
same thing.
Eye-opening, and
for sure.
Very cool. Hey, thanks to both of you for coming in today. Appreciate it. And I guess we'll chat again when you get the next show rolling.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you
sounds
so
good.
much.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right. Danielle Yilmaz and Justin Radford joining us to talk about Babblin, Bout, Broadway, October 11th and 12th, 7:30. Sunday, October 13th at 3:30. Tickets are just $12 each, and that's happening at Truman Auditorium in Farmington.
Farmington, Missouri, your destination for a perfect weekend getaway. Dine in at one of our quality restaurants or visit one of our surrounding wineries. Farmington offers a variety of parks and other recreational leisure time activities. See some sights, have some fun, and go wherever your heart takes you. Sounds like a lot of fun, so get a room and stay a while. All this and more awaits you just 60 miles south of St. Louis. Discover Farmington today.
Time for some cool tunes, man, in our music. Time now for our music segment here on the Parkland Podcast. This is where Mark and I give you a song and an album recommendation that you can enjoy, something that we both like, something that his brother likes or my father-in-law likes. Sometimes my wife picks this out. Do you have a song of the day for us, Mark Toti?
I absolutely do. It was the song I listened to on the way over to record today. It is from the group Free, and the name of the song is All Right Now.
Yeah.
That is a song. As soon as it comes on the radio, you recognize it right away. Very distinctive guitar lick to start things off. That song, it features a very, very young, a 22-year-old Paul Rogers, who went on to more fame and fortune as the lead singer for Bad Company.
Yes, and that song has awesome cowbell in it as well.
More cowbell.
Yes.
Always more cowbell. So that is my song pick, and my album pick is Carlos Santana. And this is like a greatest hits album. It contains the song, You've Got to Change Your Evil Ways, Baby, along with Black Magic Woman, Oye Como Va, Everything is Coming Our Way, and Everybody's Everything. This is a fabulous album featuring one of the all-time great guitar players in music history, not just rock and roll, but in music history, and Carlos Santana.
I always like the percussion in Carlos Santana's songs too, because you'd have like that thing where they, run the mallet down the thing. All my percussion friends are like, it's called a or whatever. Yeah, great stuff from Santana. All right, so for my song of the week, I'm going to go with the year 1997 and the song Ocean Man from the band Ween. And this was on their album, The Mollusk. And this song really didn't do well when it first came out, but then it appeared in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Well, there you go.
And now all the kids are all into it. In fact, it was later revealed that the song Ocean Man was the inspiration for SpongeBob SquarePants. So there you go. Check out Ween, The Mollusk. Pretty good album. And again, after 2004, that song became a little more popular. I forgot my album today, but don't worry. Mark Toti took care of me and hooked me up with Riding the Storm Out from REO Speedwagon. I loved playing this song back in the days at B104 when I had to do storm coverage, because like there's a at the beginning of it whenever they kick in. Of course, Riding the Storm Out, A Woman's a great song as well. And what else did you say?
Son of a Poor Man.
Son of a Poor Man, yes. Very, very cool tune from REO Speedwagon.
But the cool thing about that, though, is it predates Kevin Cronin as lead singer.
Oh, my gosh, you're right. Absolutely. The session started out with Kevin Cronin, but he left the band before the album was finished due to creative differences. The title track would later become a hit for the band on their live album after Cronin had returned to the band. Very, very cool stuff, and that was just the third album from REO Speedwagon. Really right when they really started to hit their prime and just became such an amazing live band.
And before they came out with all their slow, sappy love songs, which I really don't like.
Yeah, I know. We established that when I accidentally picked the wrong REO Speedwagon album a few episodes back.
I had to set the record straight there.
Yes, there we go. So now we're good. Now we're legit, and we've gained, or at least I've gained back all my credibility. You never lost yours.
That's one of the advantages of being old.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so who is coming up on the next episode of the Parkland Podcast, episode 19?
Coming up next week, we'll have folks from Parkland Pharmacy in to tell us about some great things that they've got going on. And Linda Dickerson-Bell will join us with the United Way, with the Habitat for Humanity organization to tell us about a big fundraiser that she has coming up in early November.
Yeah, the old housewarming event. So that's the only event they do every year.
Yes, it's a good one.
So there we go. That's coming up next episode of the Parkland Podcast. Until then, have a great week. Continue to enjoy this fall weather, and we'll see you again next week.